do not voluntarily step out like I'm asking you to.
I swear to God, do not open my door. Don't open my door. Record this shit.
Get out of the car!
I'm a girl.
This?
Come on. No, I'm not. I'm not doing it. They just drag me up. I'm telling you. Get that out of this. He got Get that name back.
And boss, just keep your hands right where you got them, okay?
This is a Jefferson Police Department body cam recording of a traffic stop that began with speeding and no insurance and ended in a multi-count arrest for resisting and obstruction. The driver is identified as Miss McNair. The primary officer is Officer Ramone. All subjects are presumed innocent unless proven guilty in a court of law.
Hi there, I'm Officer Ramone with the Jefferson Police Department. Good. The reason I stopped you today, I got you at 97 miles an hour. It's a 70. Going entirely too fast.
Yeah, I got you.
Y'all from North Carolina?
Yeah.
Who's this vehicle registered to?
Me.
You? Okay. All right, sit tight for me. Hey, y'all got registration on this vehicle?
We couldn't change that with Dream because Dream almost played like us. He played like a guard. He played like a guard. He's very finesse.
I gotta go get the new one that my insurance company sent my check back, so I gotta get new insurance because I don't know, they just canceled it and sent the check back.
Okay. All right, sit tight for me. Do you have your proof of insurance?
No, I just told you. They sent the check back, but I can show you like where I did it, and then they sent the check back. But you can just write me up for not having no insurance because I don't have none actively as of now.
You don't?
Yeah, actively as of now.
Okay.
But they sent the check back. Like, it was their fault. Their mishap.
Okay. Without insurance, I can't let this vehicle back on the road.
Why?
Because I can't. Because it is a liability.
Okay, so what we gonna do?
So you can...
I gotta go home.
I know. I'll give you the same opportunity that I give everybody. You can get some insurance here on the side of the road, or I can tow the car. And I hate towing people's cars, so I'm going to hope you can get some insurance. It's too much of a liability to let the vehicle back on the road, because if I knowingly let you back on the road without insurance and you hit somebody or somebody hits you, then that's on me because I allowed the vehicle back on the roadway. That bottle that was sitting right here, where'd it go?
You can, regardless of where it went, you could blow me. I'm not drinking.
No, I'm not asking that.
It doesn't matter.
Where's the bottle at?
I don't know.
Okay. Hey, Tanny, you about done? Come on up here. I got one with an attitude. We're going to PC search it. I got 3 occupants and the driver's got an attitude. 97 at 1574. Get on northbound. Get on 85 northbound to 137. Oh, 137, and I'm right here. Not the day to pop an attitude.
What you got?
I got her at 97.
Good God.
I mean, out here, that's an average night. I've got odor. I had a half bottle of what appeared to be tequila on the back seat that magically disappeared from me going back to my car and coming back up. I got a male. I believe it's a male in the back passenger up in the front. She just started popping off with an attitude in the driver's seat, and she just voluntarily told me. I asked if she had proof of insurance, and she said, no, I just told you. They sent back my check. It doesn't have insurance right now. I was like, okay, well, I can't legally allow the vehicle back on the road. And she started mouthing off more. So I've got open container somewhere in the vehicle that I had in plain view. I got PC all day long with odor.
Yeah.
Ashtray in the center. So they finna come out. We're about to go through that car. Watch that back passenger. Just eyes on that back. Hey, boss man, can you put your... Never mind, he's asleep. Hey, go ahead and do me a favor. Step out of the car for me. Step out of the car. Step out of the car.
I have that right to ask them.
Yes, you do, and I will tell you as soon as you step out of the car.
Well, I have to ask before I step out.
Okay, let me explain what's going to happen. If you do not voluntarily step out like I'm asking you to...
I'm just making sure, like, what we stepping out for.
It's cool. Step out of the vehicle.
I'm asking.
Step out of the vehicle, or I'm going to force you out of the vehicle.
If you do, and you will get sued, because what did you
fine.
step? You have
That's
you
fine.
have to tell me what we stepping out for.
Hey, bud, put your hands on your lap for me. Put your hands on your lap. I can see his other hand. I can see it. Yeah.
What we stepping out for?
Nothing on this side.
You have to tell me why we stepping out. Now I'm finna start recording. Because you touch me, I swear to God. Do not open my door. Don't open my door. Don't open my door. Do not open my door. Do not open my. If you break my car, you're gonna see about this, bro.
The legal foundation for this stop is straightforward. An officer observing a vehicle traveling 97 miles per hour in a posted 70 mile per hour zone has clear probable cause under the Fourth Amendment. No warrant is required. No additional justification is needed. The stop itself is constitutionally unimpeachable. When the driver voluntarily disclosed she had no active insurance, the officer's options narrowed immediately. Operating an uninsured vehicle is a criminal traffic offense in most jurisdictions. More critically, an officer who knowingly allows an uninsured vehicle back on the road assumes civil exposure if that vehicle causes harm. The towing decision was not punitive, it was legally required. The encounter shifted when the officer observed an open alcohol container on the back seat during his initial approach. That single observation triggered the plain view doctrine. Under Horton versus California, decided by the Supreme Court in 1990, an officer may seize and act upon evidence that is immediately apparent and observed without conducting a search. No warrant needed. No additional suspicion required. When the officer returned to the vehicle and the bottle was gone, that disappearance did not extinguish probable cause. It strengthened it. The totality of circumstances standard established in Illinois versus Gates, 462 U.S. 2131983, requires courts to evaluate all facts together. A vanishing open container, combined with the odor of alcohol, gave the officer independent and cumulative probable cause to search the vehicle under the automobile exception. The automobile exception, rooted in Carroll versus United States, 267 U.S. 1321925, holds that a vehicle may be searched without a warrant when an officer has probable cause to believe it contains evidence of a crime. The rationale is mobility vehicles can be driven away before a warrant is obtained. Here, probable cause existed on two independent grounds: plain view of an open container and odor of alcohol. Either alone would suffice. The officer then called for backup and announced his intent to conduct a probable cause search. This is the critical legal transition point. Once that decision was made, all occupants of the vehicle became subject to a lawful order to exit. Under Pennsylvania versus Mims, 434 U.S. 1061977, an officer conducting a lawful traffic stop may order the driver to exit the vehicle, no further justification required. This is binding Supreme Court precedent. Maryland versus Wilson, 519 U.S. 4081997. Extended MIMS to passengers. The court reasoned that officer safety during a traffic stop justifies ordering all occupants out of the vehicle. The combined effect of MIMS and Wilson is clear. Once a lawful stop is underway, an officer's order to exit is not a request. It carries the force of law. Refusal is not a legal option. The driver's repeated refusal to exit the vehicle was therefore not an exercise of rights. It was a violation of a lawful order. The phrase "you have to tell me what we're stepping out for" reflects a common but legally incorrect belief. Officers are not required to provide advance justification for an exit order during a lawful stop. The time for explanation comes after compliance, not as a condition of it. Once the driver refused to comply, the officers were authorized to use reasonable force to enforce the lawful order. The applicable standard comes from Graham versus Connor, 490 U.S. Sembai Bashalio, Iten Jobai Bashajo. The Supreme Court held that use of force must be judged under an objective reasonableness standard, evaluated from the perspective of a reasonable officer at the moment of the decision, not with the benefit of hindsight. Applying Graham versus Connor here, the officers faced a non-compliant driver, refusing repeated commands in a vehicle with probable cause for search. The The force applied manual extraction and cutting the seatbelt falls within the soft, empty hand control range of the use of force continuum. No taser, no OC spray, no impact weapon was deployed. Given the subject's active resistance, that level of force was objectively reasonable. The driver's claim that I'm a girl creates an exemption from pat-down searches has no basis in law. A search incident to a lawful arrest is authorized by the Fourth Amendment and established in Schimmel v. California, 395 U.S. 7521969. The authority to search extends to the person being arrested, regardless of gender. A preference for a same-gender officer is understandable, but it does not suspend legal compliance in the moment of arrest. The companion's decision to record the encounter and request badge numbers was constitutionally protected. First Amendment protections for recording police in public were affirmed in Glick v. Cuniff by the First Circuit in 2011 and recognized by circuit courts across the country. The officer's decision not to interfere with that recording was the legally correct response and commendable. The charges ultimately filed were speeding, 3 counts of resisting arrest, and obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Obstruction requires 3 concurrent elements. The officer was lawfully performing official duties. The defendant knew the person was an officer, and the defendant willfully resisted, obstructed, or opposed that officer. All 3 elements appear facially satisfied based on the footage. The resisting arrest charges are similarly grounded. Most state codes define resisting arrest as knowingly and willfully opposing or preventing an officer from making a lawful arrest. The driver did not merely argue she physically grabbed the door, prevented officers from opening it, and continued to struggle during extraction. These are overt acts, not protected speech. At the time of this analysis, the final outcome of any criminal proceedings against Miss McNair is unknown. Attempts to obtain court records were unsuccessful. Based on the legal framework, however, the charges carry substantial evidentiary support from the footage itself, which documents the officer's commands, the driver's refusals, and the physical resistance in real time.
But you have to tell me, stop touching me, do not touch me, do not touch me.
Can you get her seatbelt? Cut it.
What? Record this shit, because I'm
cut that shit.
I'm telling you.
If you don't be stupid like that.
Taking me out for no, they haven't told me why they took me out.
You ain't gonna tell you shit. You can get out the car.
Cut it.
No, you don't. That's not how shit works. Oh, well, fucking check it. We not have no insurance. Literally, we not have no insurance. Please, because I'm telling you, y'all gonna pay for all of this. Let go of my leg. How the fuck I'm supposed to get out if you got my
Get out of the car!
My leg go, nigga. What the fuck wrong, y'all?
Get out of the car! Right now!
Man, I'm telling you.
Turn around, put your hands.
Fuck no.
100%.
Hey, boss man, just keep your hands right where they are.
Issue, bro. Go ahead. Go ahead, because y'all ain't tell me why I got this. Look, you see this?
Pray a little bit.
I'm not doing shit. I'm not
Get her
doing
back there
nothing.
so I can see this passenger.
You see that?
Come on.
No, I'm not. I'm not doing shit. They just dragged me up. I'm telling you. Jeff got all this. He got all this, and I'm telling you. What's your name?
I don't know what's going on.
Hey, Jeff, get their name and badge number, bro. You going down, big dog.
And your card, okay?
I didn't record it. Get their name and badge
And
number.
boss, just keep your hands right where you got them, okay?
Stop moving.
You letting them do this, you weird.
That's fine.
What's wrong with you?
That's fine. I'm going to jail.
Why is it fine?
Negative.
And I'm going to be out.
Shut up.
And I'm going to be out. Come on, y'all. I'm going to jail for now. Wait, come on. Y'all on some weird shit.
You checked her? Nope.
Y'all can't touch me. I'm a girl.
He want to know your password.
3865. You can't touch me. I'm a girl. I'm a girl. You touch me. I'm a girl. I'm a girl. You see what he's doing out here?
What's in your pocket? What's in your pocket?
I'm a girl. You touch me. I'm a girl. I'm a girl. I don't have no weapons. And you all in my pocket. Oh, he touched me. You know, I'm a girl. You're not even supposed to be in my pockets. You're not supposed to be on me.
Y'all might not have it.
All right, swap sides.
With the fact that it still smells
Swap sides with me.
No, I'm asking you.
I'm I'm a girl.
I'm a couple hours ago. We was at the BNP.
Okay. I'm a girl. We just been at
right now. Okay. All right. That's all.
I'm a girl, and he over here touching me all in my pockets and shit. Pulling my pants and shit. I'm a girl.
She goes back in my car. I went double lock.
That's weird. All because I didn't have no. All because no what's name. They didn't tell me nothing. I don't even know why I'm going to jail. They didn't even say that. They didn't say none of that. I dripping woke the whole fucking town, cuz. Call my mama drip, cause they even the key in my phone. Can I speak to a sergeant?
Hold on, back her up right here. That was the sergeant. Back her up a little bit. Back her up a little bit. Pull her back. Let me get this seatbelt.
Like y'all doing the motion out. Yeah. Both of y'all weigh 10 times more than me. And he got all that on record. We gonna definitely cause an issue. I'm definitely causing an issue. And I'm a veteran. We're gonna definitely cause a fucking issue.
Okay.
Yeah, we gonna cause an issue because he got all that on record. Y'all weak as for trying a girl like that. Weak as real talk.
Okay.
Weak as
Okay.
I guess she got pulled over. She didn't have insurance.
Let me swap gloves real quick.
Officer Ramone receives a grade of B-. The initial stop was legally sound. The probable cause analysis was accurate and well communicated. The decision to call backup before physical contact rather than after reflects sound tactical judgment. The force applied during extraction was proportionate and restrained given the active resistance presented. However, Officer Ramone's radio communication described the driver as one with an attitude as the primary reason for calling backup before citing the legal facts. This framing is problematic. Legal justification must lead. Subjective characterizations of demeanor, offered first and foremost, invite perception of retaliatory policing, even when the underlying legal basis is solid. The facts available, open container, odor, no insurance, were sufficient without the editorial. Miss McNair receives a grade of D. The initial disclosure of no insurance, while unhelpful to her situation, was honest. That honesty is the only point in her favor. Every decision that followed, refusing to answer where the bottle went, refusing to exit the vehicle, physically resisting extraction, and continuing to obstruct during the search, escalated her legal exposure at each step, without legal justification for any of it. The Jefferson Police Department receives a grade of B. Officers demonstrated working knowledge of the applicable case law, MIMS, the automobile exception, the Plainview Doctrine, and applied it in real time. The department loses ground for the communication framing noted above, and for the absence of a clear command structure during the multi-officer extraction phase. These are correctable with supervision and training. Now 5 lessons from this encounter. Lesson 1. Compliance is not surrender. Under Pennsylvania versus MIMS, stepping out of a vehicle on an officer's order is legally required, not optional. Arguing rights from inside a locked car does not protect those rights. It creates new criminal exposure. Lesson 2, voluntary disclosure carries legal consequences. Miss McNair volunteered that she had no insurance. That single statement offered without being asked directly is what converted a speeding ticket into a tow and a probable cause search. Know what information you are legally required to provide and what you are not. Lesson 3. Evidence in plain view does not disappear by hiding it. Moving an open container from the back seat does not eliminate probable cause. It adds consciousness of guilt to what was already observed. Courts routinely treat attempts to conceal evidence as an independent basis supporting probable cause. Lesson 4. Framing police actions in legal terms matters. Officer Ramone's attitude language on the radio undermined an otherwise clean probable cause case. Officers should document articulable facts, odor, plain view, specific behaviors, not subjective impressions. Radio communications are discoverable evidence. Lesson 5. Recording is a right and a tool. The companion's decision to record and request badge numbers was entirely lawful. That footage may become the most important evidence in any subsequent civil or criminal proceeding. Know that right. Exercise it calmly. Do not interfere with the arrest while doing so. Let us know if there is an interaction or legal topic you would like, analyzed in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to check out our channel for more police interaction and courtroom content.